All right, good evening, everyone. I call this meeting of Hamtramck City Council to order. Today is February 13, 2024, and it's 7:03 p.m. Would the clerk call the rolls, please?
Councilman Rafai,
Present.
Councilman Musa. I'm sorry, Councilman Musa is not here. Councilman Sedman,
Here.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Al-Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Do we have any community announcements?
Should I do it now? Should I?
Yes, go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to let everybody know the International Mother Language Day, which is Bangladesh been celebrating since 1952, and people are from Bangladesh all over the world celebrate the same time, which is Hamtramck City. We do it every year, and we are planning to do it on this 21st February, and I'm inviting city manager. Mr. Mayor, you, City Council, city official, and everybody else to observe with us to this special day for Bangladesh.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Any other announcements?
No, sir.
Can I
Or-
make a quick announcement?
Go
We
ahead.
do have early voting starting this Saturday. And just to inform everybody, early voting will be in the chambers from Saturday to next Sunday. So 9 days nonstop. And then election day is Tuesday. And we do have ballots in Bangla and Arabic. And we still have AV ballots as well. So you can do either AV applications and get your ballots, early voting, or wait until election day to vote.
Okay, thank you. All right, we move to proclamations, recognitions, and presentations. And before we start these, I would like to invite one of our guests, one of the candidates for the Congress, Ms. Mary Waters, to present herself and. Yeah, thank you. She's a councilwoman. I said a Congress candidate, so she is a candidate, right?
Well, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I am Mary Waters, an at-large member of the Detroit City Council. That means I represent the whole D. In fact, I represent a majority of the 13th Congressional District, I do believe. I wanted to stop by and introduce myself to you. I know that one council member did attend the press conference that I did out of here last week, but I said I've got to go and meet everybody. Mr. Mayor, you and I have communicated, and I certainly appreciate your willingness to be very supportive. And I look forward to having conversations with you all. I came tonight so that I can listen. I'll see what some of your concerns are and how you would like for me to proceed on your behalf when I get to Washington, D.C. I'm a former state representative as well. First African-American female floor leader in the history of the Michigan House of Representatives, where I served as now Governor Gretchen Whitmer's floor leader. She's now the governor, but I was her floor leader at one point. We were in the same legislative session. I take public service very serious. Had a perfect attendance rate for the entire 6 years that I served in Lansing. And so as a candidate for Congress, as a congressperson who's asking you to allow me to represent you, I want you to know that I will listen to you, I will represent you. You see, oftentimes when people get elected to office, especially if they're in Lansing and or Washington, D.C., they forget about the folks that put them there. It is the local people who put them there. So you cannot forget that. You all will see me. And those of you who did not have an opportunity to attend the press conference that was right out front in the little park, it was very intentional. Yeah, I did it at Hamtramck. Is an American city I am an American. And so we have to find ways to work together. I want to work with you all, and I hope that you all are willing to work with me. Mr. Mayor, I'm looking forward to our conversation. Let's get the conversation going pretty quickly. We have a race to win, and I'm up for it if you all are willing to stand with me. I would really, really appreciate that. So if you have any questions for me right now, I'm happy to answer them. I know I didn't come here to give a political speech. I want to make sure that I sat here and listened to some of your concerns. And I can talk with each of you after the meeting if that's what you prefer, but I will be here to listen to you.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you so much. I have here a couple people here with me. I've got Dr. Patton, raise your hand back there. And I have Sam Riddle. Okay, well, neither one of them said anything. I just wanted them to wave to you. They're very, very strong supporters of mine. So, Mr. Mayor, with that, I'll answer any questions that you might have. But at some point in time, I'd like to just give you more information about the kinds of things that I like to work on when I get to Congress, in addition to hearing what your concerns are.
Thank you so much. We just wanted to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself, and
Yeah.
we will be in touch.
Okay.
I hope that you wouldn't be like those who stood in front of us last year and we supported them and then they disappointed us. They ignored all our concerns, although we met with them several times this year. So hopefully the community will listen to you and maybe you can convince them to vote for you.
If you give me the opportunity, I'll be your representative. You will see me here in your community,
Thank you.
and I will listen to your community.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Thank you very much.
Yes, Councilman Hassan.
Oh, she's gone. So we'll
Okay.
talk later.
It's all right. We'll be in touch with her later on. Okay. So that we have the first proclamation for the International Mother Language Day 2024. Would you like to?
I'll take it.
Okay, thank you.
City of Hamtramck Proclamation, International Mother Language Day. Whereas the United Nations Resolution, International Mother Language Day is celebrated on the 21st of February each year, and whereas the date represents a day in 1952 where students demonstrating for recognition of their language Bangla as one of the two national languages of then Pakistan were shot and killed by police in Dhaka, the capital of what is now Bangladesh. And whereas the city of Hamtramck, with its rich tradition of cultural diversity, agrees with the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, that languages are the most powerful instruments of preserving and developing our tangible and intangible heritage. And whereas all moves to promote the dissemination of native languages will serve not only to encourage linguistic diversity and multilingual education, but also to develop fuller awareness of linguistic and cultural traditions throughout the world, and to inspire solidarity based on understanding, tolerance, and dialogue, whereas this year we will join together in our hearts to respect and appreciate the cultures and languages that when combined make us better. Signed, Amir Galib, Mayor of Hamtramck, February 2024.
Thank you. Next one is the DDA annual report.
Mayor, we have DDA representatives with us today.
All right. We have Milo, our chair, and Alexandro.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Milo Medol, and I'm the chair of the DDA. Do we have the capability of pulling up the report? Perfect.
Got it.
I went the wrong way. So this is our 2023 annual report. I think last year we presented this maybe in June or July. We're trying to do a little bit better this year and going forward. So I guess we can go next. I don't need to read that either. So we've sort of broken this down into 3 or 4 things that the DDA primarily does. The first is maintaining the main street, which is Joseph Combo. So basically what that entails is the items that you see above. We pay for snow removal, which I know I personally enjoy as someone who uses the street a lot during the winter. tree trimming, holiday lighting, and sponsoring the Ramadan free parking, which I know is appreciated by residents as well. You can go to the next. And we've also been doing a little bit better trying to track what we've actually seen developing on the streets. So we've been maintaining a business inventory. We started that a couple years ago. And while I don't have the numbers here as to the changes in like vacancies and things of that nature, that is something we are tracking. As you can see, there's some good numbers here as to the new businesses that were open in 2023. Go to the next. One of the other critical functions of what we do as a Downtown Development Authority is we host events and campaigns for the community and for small businesses in the community. One of those events last year that we did was the Merchants Meeting, which we had not held, I think, since 2019, since before the pandemic. But it was a really successful event. We had a great attendance of local business owners and connected those business owners to funding resources such as the MEDC, which gives great grant, has great availability of things like grants for small businesses. Prosperous, the Yemeni American Chamber of Commerce in Global Detroit also attended and presented, and had an opportunity to mix and mingle with our small businesses. I want to give a big shout out to Alessandro, and he deserves many shout outs, but he did a great job for the Small Business Saturday campaign. He took photos of many businesses, posted those photos on our social media pages, and there was great engagement. He's going to talk a little bit more about our social media campaigns, but there's really great engagement with that campaign, and I know businesses were really impressed and thankful for the professional work that he did. Another new event that we did in 2023 that will continue is the Shop the World sidewalk sales. So we tied that in with the Hamtramck Neighborhood Arts Festival. That engaged 54 businesses and reached close to 10,000 people via social media advertising. Had resulted in some great sidewalk displays and some increased revenue for businesses as well. We plan to repeat that event going forward. And then finally, we did also sponsor a number of the events that everybody knows and loves in Hamtramck, the Labor Day Festival in particular. And I will turn it over, I think, to you, Alessandro, to address this next item.
Yeah, so this, in an effort to kind of help the city's image and kind of help direct both visitors and residents to the business that we have to offer, we kind of went for a renewed social media look. So we kind of focused a lot on social media because that's how a lot of people nowadays find new businesses. Maybe it's word of mouth, but a lot of people are posting pictures on their own social media. So we kind of are trying to bring all that together into something that's more cohesive. And we also spent a lot of our DDA funds doing advertisements. So we basically would photograph a business, and then we would pay money online to get it advertised to people in the regional area so that they can go visit that business. So we did that as a pilot program, so we didn't do it for every business, of course. We wanted to see how well it went, and it actually went really well, and the business owners that we did it for were very encouraged, and they loved that we were able to do that. So that's kind of like what we're trying to go for. We're trying to go for a more cohesive look, and I'll talk about that a little bit in the next section. But yeah, so definitely social media is a big part of our idea for 2024.
Next slide.
So here are some images that you can see. So we kind of wanted new images. A lot of people don't have professional photographs of their business. It's not a big focus, but we kind of wanted to bring kind of like a new professional look to a lot of these great businesses that just need some new images to kind of be more widely recognized.
And to add to that, may not have the ability or the knowledge or the know-how as to how to advertise themselves to a larger community. So, great. Okay, goals for 2024 and beyond. So, I think we talked to you guys in our last annual report about the Michigan Main Street program. Basically, that is a program through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation that unlocks a number of financial resources, planning resources, things like that, grants, and other opportunities for the DDA, but also for the small businesses through the DDA. So this year is finally the year that we're going to be joining the Engaged level. It's a 3-level system. And that will hopefully be done in February, actually, of this year, so this month. Also, another thing that we've already accomplished this year is we have brought on board our new Deputy Executive Director, which is Alessandro. So welcome Alessandro to that role. And he'll focus more of his time than he has been in the past on DDA programming and things like grants and fundraising. And then I think, Alessandro, if you could talk a little bit more about what's going on at City Hall.
Of course, yeah, so we're kind of utilizing the interns that we have in City Hall. We have some interns that are given to us for the Michigan Works Department, and they kind of help out in different departments. And then we've been able to use some of them for help with kind of this DDA work and social media. A lot of them are younger, so they're more in touch with newer social media or what the young people are doing, so we're utilizing that. And a lot of them are from the community and speak some of the languages that are spoken more widely in Hamtramck, so it's helping us kind of have a refreshed kind of image and helping to attract young people that are residents to kind of explore more of their own city. And a big portion, kind of a big focus of this year is a new campaign that we launched called Discover Hamtramck. So I know I've been here in a lot of council meetings and people say, DDA, why is it only DDA? Why don't we do Conant or Holbrook or Caniff? Like, why do we only focus on Joseph Campo? So in an effort to kind of, the DDA is kind of representing Joseph Campo, which kind of like is the heart of the city. It's like where most businesses are. But in an effort to help the business ecosystem in the whole city, we launched a new campaign called Discover Hamtramck. So we changed all of our social media to be called Discover Hamtramck. And this is a way to promote all of the business in the city in a one single campaign. So what we're doing is we're kind of having a single image to attract people, visitors and residents to use the businesses in the city. So we'll be focusing a lot on that, and that's going to be kind of like a big part of 2024.
I would just point out we've already had a lot of success with
Yeah,
that.
we've already started this campaign, and we've had great success and great turnout to a lot of the businesses. So any business owners, if you know any business owners, please send them our direction. We're doing a lot of videos and photos in each business, and I think we've probably done maybe 10 this year already. And we're trying to just get as much content to promote of each business, just to help attract the businesses and the people coming to it.
And just for the benefit of people, do you know the numbers of how many people have joined the social media since that?
Yeah, we've only launched around like 2 weeks ago, and we've had like at least 400 new people on like Facebook and like 200 or 300 new people on Instagram. And especially like an event like today, also in the Punchki run on Saturday, all 1,500 attendants received a postcard with the information, and a lot of them followed. And now we're kind of doing a lot of more social media, so if like a business is gonna post, they like include Discover Hamtramck into their messaging. So so we need your help with any business that you think is struggling or wants some more promotion, send us our direction. We do free photographs and free promotions, and that's gonna be kind of, we wanna get it up into a bigger stage and then utilize that, also utilize the soccer games that happen. We see a lot of complaints, the businesses say, oh, no one comes to my business, but all these people come to watch the soccer game. So we're trying to use that big stage and that big amount of people and send them to businesses in other parts of the city, such as Conant and Northern Campo. And yet we're working with the Hamtramck Sparks Conservancy and Veterans Park, obviously, I just said with the soccer games. And our goal is to work on new banners and new signage and new physical infrastructure on Campo.
All right, and to wrap up, I guess 2 final points and what to look forward to. This year we'll also be looking forward to setting up a nonprofit, which will help us to get tax deductible donations, something we haven't had the capability of in the past. And finally, just as a precursor to something you can expect to see coming, a lot of folks in the Downtown Development District are pretty fired up still to this date about the parking meters, and the DDA is working on a proposal to request some of that revenue be redistributed to the downtown development area. So that's, I guess, a summary of what we have done and what you should be looking forward to. Can answer any questions if you have them.
Any
Thank
questions?
you.
Thank you. All right, so the next one is Planning Commission and Zoning Board of Appeal Annual Report. I was
Thank you.
given that. Oh, okay, I got it.
Okay, so this is our annual planning and zoning report. It has information both for the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Both the mayor and council member Al-Samiri sit on the Planning Commission, and the rest of the members are listed on page 1. Last year, the Planning Commission met 8 times. They mostly review and help come up with zoning amendments. They also review special land use requests and facade reviews for Joseph Campo. The zoning board met 5 times. If there's nothing on the agenda, we just cancel it, so we don't meet every single month. As you know, we put together several zoning amendments which did pass, including lowering the minimum apartment size in residential to 500 square feet, and 3 other amendments as well. One thing we hope to do in 2024 is just to continue to provide additional technical training for our ZBA and our planning commission, because there's a lot of legal requirements, there's a lot of, detailed architecture and just planning related things, so we will be looking towards the Michigan Association of Planning to do more training in 2024. Other than that, that's it for the planning and zoning. Does anybody have any questions? Nope?
Yeah, thank you. All right, the next one is the Beautification Commission Annual Report. You again? Okay.
All right, so thank you again for allowing me to speak today on this. There's really a lot going on with the Beautification Commission, in part because there's just so many grants available right now that I feel the urgency to be very active and involved in this commission, because there's a lot of funding available for things like parks, trees, green space, green roofs. It's just a very fundable type project right now. So the role of the Beautification Commission is twofold according to the ordinance. One is to advise and create reports regarding beautification improvements for the city. That is not something that they did last year, but we are working on creating a report for this year. The second role is to plan and coordinate an annual cleanup event, that's like a trash cleanup event, and really promote that well. We did do that last year. There was an Earth Day cleanup, and then there were a lot of other cleanups. There was probably at least 25 community cleanups last year. This commission did provide support in the application process for the Urban Forestry Tree Grant, which was awarded, so we did receive that grant. This year, we do need additional volunteers at the cleanups, at the tree plantings, and really just for people to attend the Beautification Commission, even if they don't want to be on the commission. Just attending it and having more involvement from the community is needed. We do currently need 4 members. We only have 3 because 2 just resigned before maybe this last week. So I know there's a couple applications pending. Another thing we want to do is get more partnerships with Hamtramck High School, because I think these kind of events like tree plantings and cleanups is just the right kind of project for high schoolers. As well, they can get points and honor roll time for scholarships and things like that. So that's one thing we want to work on in 2024. 2024 is working closer with the school and publishing a report this year. Do you have any questions about that?
No. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, and then we have the Arts and Culture Commission report.
Good afternoon, Mayor, or good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, thank you.
Well, the Arts and Culture Commission to foster and engage and amplify the artistic and cultural community of the city of Hamtramck. The artistic and cultural initiatives are education, engagement, and unity of our diverse community to help create quality of life for all Hamtramck residents. And one of the things we've been really pursuing is just connecting with what's already going on within the community. One thing we did launch new this year was called Hamtronic. We hosted a series of roundtable meetings, and then we did that to participate because there's a major cultural event that happens within the city of Detroit, called the Electronic Music Festival movement. And we want to basically take on and bring some of that to Hamtramck, which is there's no sense, over 100,000 people coming for that festival, there's no reason we shouldn't reap the benefits of that. So we created that last year, and we did have 4 active events that happened movement weekend within the city of Hamtramck. And then this year what we want to strive for is to double that. So we're starting our roundtable meetings and doing that. And then also we would actually like to add an electronic element to the Labor Day Festival, because that would bring a new demographic to our Hamtramck Labor Day Festival. So, cool. Thank you.
All right, moving along to our Sarah Garrett Park and Juneteenth activities. This was our 3rd year honoring and celebrating Juneteenth at Sarah Garrett Park. I co-coordinate that with Bridell Garrett, who is now a commission advisor with us. The park is named after his mom, his late mom. And so we had a cleanup on the 17th to prepare the park for the event. Then we partnered with community members to host a health education and services community resource resource fair at Sarah Garrett Park. And then we partnered with community members to have the first ever march from Sarah Garrett Park to Veterans Park, and we had a program there as well. And then on June 28th, we actively participated in the dedication event of the monument that was at Sarah Garrett Park. And moving along to our partnership with the Hamtramck Queer Alliance, in June we supported their celebration of Pride Month, which included a June 16th late night shopping, which included a pub crawl, and was very well attended by residents and visitors to Hamtramck. We also collaborated June 24th with the DCFC Pride programming. June 11th, Motor City Pride, we represented Hamtramck at that event in the parade. And then this year we plan on marching again with Motor City Pride and other events that are planned.
Also next, we're part of the Labor Day Festival. We do a booth. We are actually like a community booth where anybody from the community organizations, other commissions, city information, the DDA has been active with us. Having that just so people that come to the festival have something like a community liaison booth to know that we can be there. We'll also serve as an info booth. We hand out the maps and things like that and schedules for the entertainment for the Labor Day Festival, and it's been pretty rough. This was our third year last year, and we're already planning for what we're going to do and build up upon it this year. And that kind of turns into the Neighborhood Arts Festival, which is now going on to its 14th year. That's we get behind it and support it. It's a grassroots festival that's been happening in Hamtramck, and like I said, it's going on to its 14th year. This year we want to step it up. Last year we did an artist market in a Baker Street event space. We had almost 50 participants last year all throughout the city. What it is people who have a studio, whether it's a recording studio, art studio, or just want to set up on their front porch and show their art and get people community. We really are building up the grassroots on that. And we actually got good funding for it, and we have partnered, one of the main sponsors was the Downtown Development Authority, and we partnered to promote their new Sidewalk Sale Festival, just creating more of an ambience for people a destination for people to come into our city. And we'll see what happens with that. This year we're also focusing on redoing our website. We have our own website, which we just have more information, and we want to actually start. We're trying to get a more grassroots foundation so we can raise money. So we're going to be probably doing some Hamtramck merchandise, promoting the city in a different way, virtually and beyond. So goals for this year, we really want to build up the team. We also want to build up just like with community connections. So the city is now doing art in the city hall. We want to get behind that and support that any way we can. We're also looking for any technical. We want to build up, and we need something for like the Neighborhood Arts Festival, more technical people like web developers and things like that. Because again, we're all a volunteer organization, so it's really hard to have the key people that put in the time and effort to do things like that. We'd also like to go after some more grants, like the Michigan Arts Council grant that we got 2 years ago. That was very fundamental in doing a 3-part series called From Our City, which was pretty successful. We're also continuing our partnership in our fiduciary with Hamtramck Community Initiative. They serve as our financial service fiduciary, so that we can do funding and banking and things like that, so we're not strapping into the city's resources and tying them down. So, if you guys have any questions, or anything you would like to recap on?
All right, thank you.
Thank you guys, appreciate it.
All right, we have the last one in this section, which is Conant Street Design Concept, Pedestrian Safety and Traffic Calming. Paul Arbiel, Senior Principal Planner, McKenna.
Mr. Mayor, with Mr. Urban here, along with, this is a CED project as well, here to talk about some street calming concepts on Conant. This is going to be a later on resolution tied to this in an application for a grant. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. My name is Paul Arbiel. I'm one of your planning consultants. And as the city manager just mentioned, I'm talking about I'm here to introduce the concept of traffic calming on Conant and talk about some possible solutions, and then later you will hear about ways that CED is strategizing to implement some of these things that I'm talking about. So if I could have the next slide, please. So Conant is about 64 feet wide, and my understanding is that the city is already aware that that the street moves, the automobile traffic on the street moves too fast, which creates some dangerous conditions, especially for pedestrians. And there's a lot of things that contribute to that, but the fundamental underlying thing is that the street is designed for the efficient movement of cars and nothing else. And so there's not enough pedestrian connection, the lanes are not marked incredibly well, and there's just so much space that although it is striped essentially as 2 lanes, a travel lane in each direction and a parking lane, there is almost enough room for at least 2 cars abreast as you're traveling, which causes a lot of safety issues. Next slide, please. And so again, just to emphasize that the speed that cars travel on streets is highly related to how safe a street is for a pedestrian. So there's some statistics there about the correlation between the speed a car is traveling, how fast or how soon that car could stop if it had to stop for a pedestrian, and the chances that the pedestrian would survive that collision if it occurred. Basically, managing the speed is one of the most effective ways to ensure pedestrian safety. Next slide. There's many potential solutions to managing the speed and to designing the street so that there's both efficient traffic flow and pedestrian safety and pedestrian circulation. I'll just show a couple of them, but one of them is to clarify the lane markings and to sort of remove the uncertainty that occurs when there's just the one lane down the middle. There's also things that you can do as far as where the curb is placed, and basically narrow the lanes to make people that are driving pay attention to where they're going, and from an environmental design perspective, you sort of force them to be more intentional and travel slower through the area through the street based on the width of the travel lanes. And then there's a couple particular things at strategic intersections or in the middle of blocks that you can introduce to the middle of the street that also effectively does the same thing. It forces drivers to pay attention and adds more places for pedestrians to be safe and interact with the road. Next slide, please. This is just an illustration of what moving the curb inward on a right-of-way, the width of Conant would do. Since there are since there are businesses that interact with the street, there is the possibility that restaurants could have a cafe space if you widen the sidewalks to make less room for cars and more room for the people on the sides of them. But if not that, in the places where businesses that don't have street frontage or are not sort of focused on pedestrians, in those other places you at least could provide street trees and a planting strip. Next slide, please. These are some illustrations of those other methods that you might do at, again, strategic intersections to make the crossing from one side of the street to the other smaller, either at an intersection, which is in the lower left corner there, or in the middle of a block, which you can work around street parking and narrow the curb and make it safer for pedestrians at the same time. Next slide. This is an image of a streetscape project in Grosse Pointe that has, this is a similar width of right-of-way as Conant, and I included it here just to show that there is the possibility to make the pedestrian environment nicer if you move the curb in and narrow it a little bit. And basically the physical character of the street that you see on the left-hand side of the screen is very similar to what could be available on Conant if you redesigned it. So as mentioned a couple times, the CED department is working on a proposal to apply for a grant for a few $1 million for planning, design, engineering, and pre-construction to figure out, to engage businesses to design the road and figure out which of those methods or others might be employed. And that grant would, we'll hear about later, would just cover everything up through the pre-construction design documents. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions or discuss anything on the slides if you'd like.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
so
Councilman.
who brought this idea?
Pardon me?
Who brought this idea about the Conan?
I can speak.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so there was recently a council meeting where there was talk about the traffic, the pedestrians, and
Yeah.
wanting to add speed bumps.
Yeah,
But you can't add speed bumps on a county road, so I asked him to put this together as an alternative other than speed bumps, because that wouldn't be a possibility.
okay. You guys don't know the Conan history. Conan was the ghost town. Bengali and Yamini developed this one. They want to keep as it is what we have. They don't want to destroy the business. Just want to let you know. Yeah, it's a completely disaster will be there. Look for the 2 million grand money, somebody want to eat, and we have to suffer it. Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
I got a question. As you know, that Kona from Carpenter all the way down to our city limits, it's actually divided with the city of Detroit. Is there any plans that if this goes through, if the council does approve it, is there any talks with the city of Detroit?
Let me take that. So this is gonna be tied to another resolution later that we're gonna talk about a little bit more, but I guess I'll just jump into that now. So we intend to bring another resolution to apply for a grant for basically a full-on design of Conant all the way from basically Carpenter to Holbrook. And this would be eventually, hopefully, a conjunction with Detroit and the county in hopes of someday being able to redesign all of it in its entirety. But obviously, there would be a heck of a lot of cooperation between the two cities and the county to do that. This is not a small project, hence the grant ask is millions of dollars, because there would be a lot of engineering and a lot of cooperation involved in this. And this is just the very, very beginning of that. But, you know, this is the hope of a start of what could be a very, you know, beautiful streetscape for Conant, you know, in the future. You know, I mean, in my opinion, Conant's been fairly, I mean, we did re-blacktop it a couple years back, but other than that, in my opinion, Conant's been fairly ignored. I would like to see it completely redone for all those businesses. I think they deserve it. And this is our start at a stab of doing that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
I
you.
guess that's all, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so we move to the additions and deletions to the agenda. Do we have any?
No, sir.
All right, then we move to the public comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Have Mr. Seekers? 3 minutes, sir.
All right. Well, and this is no knock on you, Max, but the city council here and whoever passed some kind of resolution and an ordinance that if you own property that is not connected to your home, you have to quote unquote pay an extra fee. I'm not paying that fee. I'm telling you right now. There's other people here that have property, and we feel that we are being singled out by the city. We pay taxes on those lots. Now you want, oh, and let's go back. There's nobody on those lots, so you're charging us for garbage. That's another thing we're paying for. And now you want me to pay some extra money every 6 months and go downstairs and check in with somebody on some property that we own. That's not gonna happen. And then on here, they have penalties and fees, $100 first, $250 second, $500 next. Then you get into the misdemeanors, 90 days in jail and a year in jail. This property is in my mother's name. And I'm gonna tell you all this right here on this TV. Anybody lock my mother up? I'm coming to this station downstairs, and you thought what them people did in Washington was something? Lock my mother up over this mess right here and see what happened here. There will be so many people out there. You're going to need more help in that station downstairs. We are not paying this. Other people that's here is not paying this mess. You strong-arming people. People, fathers and mothers and grandfathers and grandmothers save their money to buy property, and you guys want to take it and manage it for us. That is not going to happen. We will put that money in escrow, and we will take your butts to court. And I don't know where your attorney, I know Mr. Allen used to be up here, I ain't seen him, but I know your attorney, you got to have a strange person if he or she went along with this foolishness right here. Nobody in the city of Hamtramck. And tomorrow, I'm going to start calling all these businesses that's over there in the Diagram Haven neighborhood, the oil people and all of them. You just got done with one class action lawsuit. Now you're going to have another one. Do not come asking for this money. We are not paying it.
City Manager, can you address that, please? Because we talked about it last time and we said we would do something about this.
Yes, I have talked with Mr. Seifers on this. Unfortunately, the lot in question is not one of the exceptions. This is a lot on Kniff, so it does not fall under any of the exceptions. It's literally right in the middle of a commercial district. So we will continue to talk to Mr. Seifers about this and see if there is some sort of resolution. We can reach on it. That's the best I can offer at this point. I'm familiar with the topic. The other gentleman that Mr. Seifers, that joins Mr. Seifers today, I'm hoping to find some resolution with.
There's no resolution.
He potentially might develop it. I don't know. We'll see.
I tried to develop in
Sir, I'm sorry, you have to speak as a public comment. Did you sign one of these letters?
He's not, I believe.
Yeah.
No, I did, ma'am.
Oh.
You can ask the mayor if you could speak.
Mayor.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Can I come to the podium?
Come on.
I have property at 5194 Everline, 5200 Everline, 5195 Everline. Back in 2016, when I tore the property down, one of the houses, I tried to build a house. They told me no. So now I get a letter in the mail stating basically I pay my property taxes, but now I have to pay $200 every 6 months to register it as a abandoned or vacant, some ordinance that you came up with. My parents are from Hamtramck. I'm from Hamtramck. I graduated Hamtramck High School in 1997. So I still own property in Hamtramck, and I just don't understand. You know, I know now we have new developers here, but back in 2016, when I tried to apply to build a house there and what I was trying to do, they told me no.
Mr. Mayor, if I could just, I am very still optimistic that maybe we are in communication, me and this gentleman here, on this topic.
We
So
are in
I'm
communication, but
hoping-
I do not want to build nothing.
Okay.
I have cars. What I did was they sent me a ticket in the mail, said I had cars parked on the grass. So what I did was I took up all the grass, I put gravel down. So I gravelled the whole lot. It cost me $2,500 to gravel it from the front of the property to the back, so I could put my cars on. I'm a collector. I own a couple collision shops. So that's what I did. So now they tell me you can't have the cars on this grass, you can't have it on the gravel. I don't understand. Gravel, that's what they make concrete with. What's the problem? So that's why I came here today with Mr. Seifers, because I just don't understand what's going on.
So
now I got an ordinance, now I got to pay $200 every 6 months, plus my taxes on the properties. We're going to put that money in escrow and get an attorney.
Okay, so thank you. So when we passed that resolution, the intention was to target those buildings, vacant buildings. We didn't even think about the lots. And I talked last time about a person can afford buying a lot for 10, 20 grand, but there's no way that everyone can develop the lot for 300,000, 400,000. So I think we should do something about the vacant lots, because people have the right to own lots, but we can't force them to borrow hundreds of thousands to develop the lot, or we will charge them. So that's my opinion on this. We have to work on something to, I mean, like I said, I can own a lot for 20, 30,000, I can afford buying it, but you can't force me to develop it for 500,000, 600,000, or you're gonna keep charging me. I'm against that, and I think we should come up with something to exclude those, vacant lots. So we will talk about it and see what we can come up with. Next,
Thank you. James Ryan, is it?
James Ryan,
Ryan from Grosse Pointe Wood, welcome.
thank you. I'm here to talk in support of the resolution, Move the Money. Hamtramck calls on Congress and the President to move significant funds away from military budget to fund social services and welfare. Maybe I should ask, has the council been able to see this resolution? Okay.
I read it, I went over it, yes.
Okay, so I'm just gonna speak in why I'm in support of this. First, let me tell you who I am. I'm a Vietnam era vet. I served in Germany, luckily instead of Vietnam, but I saw enough death and carnage and waste to eventually make me join Veterans for Peace. After 4 years in the Army, I got my PhD from the Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences at the University of Miami, and then subsequently 30 years doing it as a research geologist. And that's where I developed my fear, not so much loathing, I could recognize the dangers of climate change. So in 2016, I moved back to Detroit, and I got a position as an adjunct professor in the Department of Environmental Science and Geology. And I've been writing papers about climate and also the geology topics. But okay, why do I support this particular resolution, which is being introduced in other cities around the country? First, based on my experience as both a veteran and a research geologist, I'm much more concerned about climate change than I'm worried about Russia and China. President Biden and Democratic Congress took measures with the Inflation Reduction Act to work on climate change. But the amount of money that's in that bill is like less than 1/20th of what we're spending annually on the Department of Defense. We spend more, the Department of Defense, on our Army and Navy and Air Force than the next 10 countries combined. And in fact, if we were to half our budget, and we're not calling for that, we would still be spending more than Russia and China combined. Now, the reason why we're spending all this money, which I consider waste, is because of essentially legalized bribery. Half of the Department of Defense budget goes to private contractors, and according to Open Secrets, since 2005, they spend more than $100 million annually on lobbying. So we give money to Congress, Congress gives money to contractors. So in closing, I urge you to vote in support of this resolution, to move forward this huge Pentagon budget to fund social welfare. And as a geologist, I think fighting climate change and adapting to it is a very major social welfare project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
John Harrison, Hamtramck resident.
Hello, thank you. I'm here to speak in favor of Resolution 2024-22, the Move the Money resolution. I'm a third-generation union worker. I live in Hamtramck. My grandparents are from Hamtramck, worked in the plants, and my mom's a public school teacher. And as we know, our public schools, they lack money, and the first to be cut is the public schools and the teachers and the parents' aides. And our schools need these people. And if we cut money from the Pentagon, which, like Jim said, we spend more than the next 10 countries combined, and as we know, as this council's recognized, we're funding a genocide in Gaza, and I just think we'd be better served to push our government and push the people really calling the shots, corporate America, that we spend this money on our schools, our cities, and we develop sustainable good food programs and job programs. So, and just to say, the spirit of this resolution is not to go after veterans. I think veterans are not taken care of enough in this country, and in fact, what the spirit of this resolution is directed at is corporate America and the private military industrial companies that profit off of killing people all across the world with our tax dollars. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is it Tobin's Derek? Is that how you pronounce it?
Yep.
Welcome, 3 minutes, so.
Thank you. I'll be brief because my colleagues they said it better than I could here. I'm also speaking out in support of the Move the Money campaign. I'm a resident of Hamtramck. My family, lifelong connection to this area for decades. And we have, on top of the 880 plus billion that has already been appropriated to fund these wars, there has been additional 95 million to Ukraine, but also money to Israel that just passed the Senate to fund the carnage over there. And it's more than it's bad enough, but we don't think of things like deindustrialization, poverty, and deprivation. Detroit, the Hamtramck now is a very different Detroit and Hamtramck. It's people are struggling. Good people are struggling, and 95 billion is it's just a number when you read it in the news. If you stop and think about it, it's mind-boggling what we could do. And I think we have this is a country that has the resources and has the drive. We haven't even figured out what we're capable of, and I think we're capable of much better than that right there. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Clara, where's Clara? Am I correct, you want to speak at the end? Not now? Yes. Okay. Muttahat?
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. I know the agenda is busy and it's full tonight, but I want to put something to the spotlight. We shouldn't forget about it. We shouldn't put it behind us. It's the a threat that was made to our mayor by Texit. We want to say that we are supporting, or we fully support our mayor, and we are behind him as Hamtramck residents, and we condemn all the threats that are made against him. And this is not the first time. It's been happening for the last 2 years, and I would like to hear the council members to speak about this loudly, because we didn't hear them speak about it loudly. I don't know if they speak under the table or behind closed doors. Because if it's an official is targeted in this city, or anyone can be targeted, and it's a threat to all of us. It's been going on for 2 years, as you guys know. Like a while ago, there was an accusation against the mayor was on social media by a former city officials and a famous person, and we didn't hear anyone condemn this or talked about it. And this is a serious issue, and we need to speak all loudly against this. This is on this topics. On the other topics about the vacant lands, I think it's too much when you charge a person that's this much for having a vacant land, or you force him to build it, or to pay this much on this vacant land. I own some properties on Detroit, and I pay $35 for summer tax and $8 for winter tax. So make something fair for these people. And I wanted to thank the Congress candidate, Mary Waters. I want to welcome her to the city of Hamtramck. And I want to thank her also for calling for a ceasefire on Palestine. And I wish everyone on, as an official or a candidate or someone that can do some about this to call for a ceasefire. And about Covenant, projects, I think to narrow the traffic lines will be more dangerous to the public. The street or the road is not wide enough, and it's already like crowded. And I hope you guys do something about this. That's all I have to say for tonight. Thank you all for listening to me.
Thank you, Tahar, for expressing your support. And I think everyone, the good thing about our community in Hamtramck is that I received private text messages from people who criticize me on social media. So when it comes to threats, we all are one community. Many people don't accept that. And I would like to take this opportunity and thank our police department for doing a great job in cooperation and coordination with the FBI agent, whom I have a meeting coming soon to, I would like then to take that opportunity to show them more stuff that I've been receiving over the past 2 years, but it doesn't stop me from serving the community and or changing my viewpoints about anything. We accept to serve the people, and we are public servant, and it comes with challenges, so nothing will stop me. So thank you so much.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
I want to add one thing that it's not the only mayor that had a threat. I also had a threat. Our police department are investigating, and also, like you mentioned, FBI are looking into this, and hopefully they will find out who are those individuals, and they will face the law. So.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, next person.
Danielle Brigier?
Hello, good evening. First, I'm sorry about the threats. That really sucks, and I hope you guys are staying safe and something's done about that. I want to add my voice to all the voices here that are supporting the Move the Money resolution, which is the last agenda item, I think, under new business. And I wasn't initially going to speak tonight, but I felt moved to because this is a big deal, and also I felt like it's really sensible to bring this up to you guys. So I am a homeowner. I live right on Trowbridge Street, and when I think about spending the rest of my life here in Hamtramck, I think about what if I have children, and what are the public schools going to be like? What resources will Hamtramck offer to families, and so forth. And so these are all, public services, amenities, welfare programs that are really, really important to the city, and that's the vision I have about Hamtramck. And seeing you guys all here today, I know you guys also have a vision about Hamtramck because that's why you're on city council, that's why you were voted on city council, and that's why you represent the people. And this money that we're talking about that needs to be moved, that's the people's money. We pay taxes. Everybody pays these taxes. And it goes towards weapons of war, of destruction, of killing people, essentially, when it could go to supporting our own communities. And so I think it's really, really important that we take a stance and we show the nation that Hamtramck is one of those cities that supports moving the money. This is being introduced in other cities right now, but it hasn't happened yet. Not a single city has yet passed this resolution. So I would encourage my city council members to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do have one from our famous Mr. Bill Meyer. Dear Council and Mayor, let me start the timer, just in case. Dear Council and Mayor, sorry I can't be at the meeting to speak in person, but here's a few points I'd like to express. First of all, Councilman Sedman's campaign sign that legally should have been removed 4 months ago is still standing on the corner of I-75 and Caniff. We removed that sign today. That is no longer up. Also, there is a talk going around again about a councilman, or maybe two, who are not legal residents of Hamtramck. Although I never agreed with the resident rule for candidates, it is still against the law to be an elected official if your primary residence is not in Hamtramck. And you probably know who you are, so what's the right thing to do about it? In reference to the Mother Language Proclamation, I would like to encourage folks to visit One Hamtramck's huge Bangladesh mural and carpenter that displays the Bangla alphabet, symbolic of the struggle and lives that were given to save the Bangladesh language and alphabet during the Liberation War of 1971. Also in reference to Conant Street design, make sure you don't hire the same parking meter company we have on Joseph Campo. As for the Arts and Culture Commission, you might want to notice that the work they've been doing is focused on only a very small portion of Hamtramck community. They might want to broaden their concept of art and culture to include everyone. I support Resolution 2024-20 to give managerial rights to the new Chief of Police. As the Chair of the Michigan Peace Council, I thank you for putting Resolution 2024-22 on the agenda. Moving money from military spending to basic human spending is an urgent and necessary step to saving our country. This is a national campaign sponsored by the U.S. Peace Council, and Hamtramck has the opportunity to be the first city in the country to pass this resolution. Detroit and New York are next. With 1 minute and 40 seconds, he asks, can I have an extra minute? I'm assuming yes, he might not need it. In what seems to be endless funding for wars around the world, Ukraine, Gaza, Yemen, Syria, etc., we must make an effort to shift spending priorities to help people in the country for education, healthcare, housing, and a stronger focus on the needs of our people. We're giving away billions and billions of dollars for wars in other countries while the arms industry is the major profiteer. Our taxes are rising to pay for this insane violence causing death and destruction around the world. I ask you to pass this resolution so we can start finding ways to meet the needs of people in Hamtramck rather than killing people around the world. Thank you, Bill Meyer, Chair, One Hamtramck. And that's all for public comments, Mayor.
Thank you. And I think, yes, we have a good chance to be the first again to pass such a resolution. And we have passed a proclamation last year to call our government to stop funding oppressive regimes around the world and use that money to fix our infrastructure here. So hopefully the City Council will pass that. We'll see when we discuss this. So after the public comments, we move to the consent agenda, and this is approved in a single motion with no discussion. We have approval of minutes from the January 23rd, 2024 regular City Council meeting, approval of minutes from the January 29th, 2024 special council meeting, approval of invoice registered date ending February 13, 2024, approval of pre-approved expenditure date ending February 13, 2024, and then resolution 2024-12 approving appointment to boards and commissions.
Motion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
No objections?
Nope.
I didn't recognize that second was open.
Do you want to swear in the?
Yes.
Please.
All right.
Did he leave?
He did step out. See if he's outside.
Had enough. We'll see if he comes back.
Shortest appointment in history. No, he'll come in.
Okay. All right, then we move to the public hearing, and we have one item there, Resolution 2024-13, adopting a fine project planning document for water system improvements and designating an authorized project representative.
Motion?
Second.
And this is to
To
start
open the hearing?
Yep.
Okay.
If Tiffany here to touch on that.
Okay.
And John. And see. Our other John sings, I think.
He's coming back.
So, good evening, Mayor, City Council, and residents of Hamtramck. I'm Tiffany Newig, along with John Hennessy with Hennessy Engineering. We'll be covering the Drinking Water Revolving Fund Project Plan as part of the project plan requirement. Next. So this evening, we'll go over the Drinking Water SRF Loan Program to include the overview of the Drinking Water SRF Program, drinking water quality problems to be addressed, the project plan timeline, the project scope, the project cost, and the social and environmental aspects. Next. So the DW SRF loan program is a low-interest loan through Eagle. It's typically a 20-year loan at 1.875%. So that's what it was last year. The city of Hamtramck will qualify for significantly overburdened status where you would be eligible for a 30 or 40-year loan if you wish to do so. However, that's not required. The drinking water SRF project plan must be submitted by May 1st, 2024 to be considered for the 2025 fiscal year funding. So as you guys are all aware, the lead and copper rules were amended and adopted in 2018 by Eagle so that all lead and galvanized service leads must be replaced from the main to the meter or 18 inches inside the home or building. So Eagle currently requires that each community must replace 7% of the lead and galvanized service leads each year by 2041. That is expected to possibly decrease. EPA has pushed out a recommendation to try and get that, to lower that for, to decrease it by 10 years. So we could be looking at a 2031 timeline, but that hasn't officially passed yet. So Hamtramck is required to replace the 7%, like I said, to not exceed the, to replace 7% due to the October 21 lead exceedance level. So this is currently 366 service lines per year. So the water main in the city is close to 100 years old. They typically, a typical useful life of the pipe is about 75 years old. So we're definitely well past that. Much of the city has built up in the pipe as shown in the picture below. And this has not changed. We recently opened up a pipe on Buffalo. One of the contractors sent me a picture, very similar picture of what's going on as we do repairs around the city when we have a water main break. So I usually try to ask for pictures of water main so I can see, what we're dealing with. So this does result in a decrease in some of the water pressure that we do have in the city because of that. So the city has a goal to replace at a minimum 3% of water main per year. So the intent to apply applications were submitted to the drinking water SRF program for multiple projects. The draft project plan was advertised on January 23rd, 2024 via the city website and Facebook page and began its 15-day minimum public comment period on January 23rd. And as you can see, we're currently in the public hearing and resolution adoption point with a deadline to submit the final project plan on May 1, 2024. So if the DW SRF loan is approved, we would be looking at a loan closing probably in the, I have down March 25, but probably spring of 25 is where I'd go for. So why the DW SRF? So with the drinking water SRF loan, Eagle usually receives many project plans, upwards of close to 300, if not more. So currently the city of Hamtramck has normally scored very high on this. So for instance, last year we submitted for this for 2024 projects for roughly $15 million. We actually got 100% grant money out of this instead of even having to take out a loan. So it was a very good thing for us to do. I will say this year, I've been told currently there are no grants. We are keeping our fingers crossed that maybe something does pop through and we can definitely qualify for grant funding. Otherwise, it would be a loan program. Next. So as you can see here, the drinking water SRF will include lead service line and water main replacement along 18 different streets throughout the city. Some of these streets were kind of broke, so it looks like, I guess, less on the map. So this list is comprised of the replacement of 639 lead service water lines and 22,107 feet, so roughly 4.19 miles of water main being replaced. So that's above our 3% minimum that we're trying to hit. Next. So if we do nothing, we will continue to experience the water main breaks as we can currently see throughout, each and every month. In some of the same areas, we currently are having issues. So this will add further disruptions to the homes and businesses throughout the city. These repairs can be costly in labor and man hours to the DPW staff and contractors. We also would not be in compliance with the current lead and copper rules. So for proposed projects, proposed projects will fulfill the lead and copper replacement requirement over the next 2 years, fulfill the full cooperation with residents as needed, complete the waivers, and provide access into their homes and or businesses. The water main replacement work will need to be funded through the drinking water SRF loan in order to qualify for possibly any principal forgiveness. So as you can see here, we're looking at about 18.6 million. Obviously, again, I just want to point out, going through this process, there's no commitment that you have to do this. It's just to try and get us so we can get ranked and scored and see where we fall. Even if we get approved for the whole 18.5 million or 18.6 million, we can always decrease that down if you don't want to take out that big of a loan. Again, we're going aggressive, hoping again, grant money comes through. So summary of the drinking water SRF costs. So the total costs include the engineering, construction, inspection, and construction QA/QC testing. So the maximum annual debt calculated for the loan is approximately $1,115,713. This would increase the user cost by approximately $192.63 a year, or roughly $16.05 per month. So the social and environmental impacts, there's positive long-term impacts on the drinking water by doing the drinking water SRF, are reducing water main breaks, improving the reliability of the system, as well as compliance with the lead and copper rules. Some of the negative impacts, like any construction project, is the temporary lane or driveway closures, loss of water during construction, as well as the noise of construction equipment, stockpiles that contribute to the dust in the area. So our next steps, as stated earlier, our next step is to submit the final project plan to EGLE by May 1, 2024, with the expected project and ranking list to be available around September 2024. If the DWRF loan is approved, we are looking at a loan closing date of spring 2025 and trying to start construction as early in the spring of 25 as we can.
And one thing I would add, Mayor and Council, is that although we don't think that we'll be able to get 100% grant, I think we are eligible for substantial loan forgiveness, which is in the range of 30 to 35%. But we'll have to see how our ranking comes out. And we'll bring that in front of Mayor and Council before that decision is made. But the loan forgiveness, the way that works is it works at the very back end of the loan, just so everyone's aware.
So at this time, we'd like to open the floor to any questions. Please state your full name and address.
No?
And that's for
Yeah, it's for the public hearing, I have to record that, that's why.
Just a quick question.
Sorry.
So, the city of Hamtramck, water is drinking is no issue, right? Some people call about the drinking water, tap water. Is there any, do you guys have any recommendation, anything to say? Water, drinking water from tap water for the city of Hamtramck.
So the last time we had a lead exceedance level was in October of 21, we haven't had that since.
Okay. So are you planning to do another one, testing or?
We test it every.
Annually.
Yeah, it's annually.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Tobin, did you want to speak on the, no? Okay, we don't have any public comments. So
Okay.
if I can get a motion to end public.
I motion.
I'll second.
And
All
at
right.
8:16.
Any further discussion for this by the council?
Vote. Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
No,
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-13 approved.
Thank you. All right, we move to the new business. We have the first one, Resolution 2024-14, approving to award Hennessy Engineering to complete the DWRF project plan and submit to EGLE.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, this is basically just a companion to that public hearing.
All right, no discussion?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead and vote.
Councilman Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
no,
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-14 approved.
All right. Next one is Resolution 2024-15, approving the 2024 water main earmark ARP grant design proposal.
Motion.
Second.
Cynthia, it's yours too. Yeah, you can just stay up there.
So, good evening again. So, the city put in for earmark grants, so a $5 million for water main replacement, $5 million for lead service line replacement. That grant was awarded, and accepted by the city, so now what we're doing is putting out so we can complete the design, so we can get it out to bid and get contractors working this year.
This is the two from the grant, or from, the state of Michigan.
That's correct.
Through Abe and, Senator
Okay.
James.
Yeah, so this is to replace we're gonna do 6 water mains, projects down in the southeast corner of the city, replacing approximately 252 service lines with that, and then also additional 174 service lines. approximately.
Mr. Chair,
Councilman, go ahead.
I got a question now. And I'm happy now we're doing one section at a time instead of what we were going around the city. So that's a plus. Second, are we repaving the street after it's being done? Like how the mayor has mentioned earlier? Or are we still gonna fix service lines and then wait another month, 2 months, and then we start repaving these streets?
As much as we can. Keep in mind that we're doing a lot of underground work, so,
Yeah.
I mean, there's no possible way we're gonna be able to keep up with paving all the streets with all the underground we're doing. But we'll do what we can as fast as we can.
And we'll continue to look for grant money for that, but we're basically, as you mentioned, we're following the underground so that when we pave the streets, we're not disrupting the streets anymore.
Well, at least if the work is gonna be, the hole is gonna be dug to the ground, when you put the pavement, at least put it to a level where it's not really a bumpy, where, you're repairing a service line, but now who's gonna repair the cars?
No, we understand.
So-
What is the road that you've had an issue with?
Kniff, Kniff.
So the
So
reason,
Kniff is still, it's a major road, and it's still, looks the same thing.
that's getting repaved
Completely
in,
getting ripped out.
yeah,
But-
This year.
But it shouldn't be the way it's looking right now. It's really bad.
okay.
So it's like we're fixing something, but you're damaging other people's properties by, the bumpy streets.
Kniff is just a temporary patch, Councilman. I
It
mean, it's just to
it
get
should
us
still, it should
over-
still be done correctly. The way it's done, it's not good.
I mean, what if the same thing happens to other side streets where,
That's not the intent. Like, anything else that would be a permanent fix would be a permanent fix. I mean, Kniff is literally, we keep touching it because we know we're getting it prepped. For this summer, the whole darn thing is getting ripped out and redone. So, by the end of the summer, it's gonna be completely brand new concrete, sidewalks and all. It's gonna be completely brand new. So, we're not like putting a whole lot of extra money into it right now because it's all coming out.
I'm not asking you to put a lot of money into it. I'm saying when you fix that pothole, make sure it's fixed right. It's leveled with the street.
make sure it's not, at least it's the same shape it used to be before you fix
Point
the
taken.
underground. Because if it's worse, then
What's it?
residents will not be happy.
So on a separate note, the next resolution after this is actually replacing out one of our, not specifically for this, but our other concrete repair person for some other patching, because we were unhappy with that repairman. So for what it's worth. So we recognize we're trying to increase the quality of work in
And
the
yeah,
city.
so we're making corrective measures.
Okay, and one more question. Are we still sticking with the same company that we've been working with?
It'll be new bids.
Well, yeah, everything's
Okay.
gonna be bid
All
out,
right,
so.
sounds good.
We're holding things more accountable as we go. As we see things, we're taking corrective measures, 100%. Like, as you bring things to us, or the community brings things to us, or we catch things, we make note, and it goes into contracts, it goes to, hey, we're watching this now, or we caught it, or, hey, we noticed this, so, just like I said, the next resolution up, we're awarding, like, the concrete, repair for all the various patchwork around town. That's going to a new contractor, and the old contractor didn't even get notified today.
Okay. And then, at least one more, when they're doing sidewalks, after redoing these service lines, try to fix those sidewalks that they have broken when they were doing those services. Because there's some in Oliver Street that are broken until today, and there's no repairs, and they haven't been done, worked to. And I'm gonna email you the pictures.
Okay.
Yeah, because we videotape the projects before we begin them, so we can make sure we understand the condition of all sidewalks before we start.
Okay. That'd be all for me.
All right.
And the contractor will be responsible for that.
All right. Any more questions?
No, sir.
I guess we can vote.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Councilman El Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2024-15 approved.
Thank you. Next one is Resolution 2024-16, approving award of the 2024-2026 Utility Pavement Repair Program to Luigi Fernandi and Son Cement Company.
Motion.
Second.
All right, discussion, or do you wanna?
Yep, so we put this
Explain
out to
that.
bid, we actually had probably 20+ contractors pull the bid documents, we had 10 bids, which is really good for the city, we haven't seen that many come in a while. So Luigi Fernandi and Sons, they came in as the low bidder, for the 3-year contract, so I did the, reference checks on them with other municipalities around the area, they've all highly recommended them, so we decided to make that change and go with a new contractor this year.
Okay. Questions?
No, sir.
Councilman Sedman,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-16 approved.
Thank you. Looks like you always start with Sedman tonight.
I set you up.
All right, thank you. The next one is Resolution 2024-17 approving the 2024-2026 Utility Pavement Repair Program Engineering and Construction Services Proposal.
Motion.
Second.
This is the companion to the last one for Tennessee to oversee all those repairs.
Yep, just so we have a construction observer out there, making sure that everything's being done correctly and recording the quantities to be able to pay them correctly.
All right. No questions?
Councilman Hassan,
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
and lastly, Councilman Sedman.
Yes.
Good.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-17 approved.
Thank you. The next one is
Can
resolution.
we please, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah.
If you don't mind, can we interrupt and swear in Hamid before we start the new?
I got one other thing I want to say too, Mr. Mayor, if you don't mind. This will be the last you'll see of Tiffany for a little while. She's going to serve our country for the next 8 months.
Oh,
Overseas.
Thank you.
And if we can just wish her well and safe travels.
Yeah.
What is she
So
doing?
Tiffany's a Navy Seabee, so she's responsible for the infrastructure of naval bases.
Oh.
And she's being deployed to overlook all of us and things like that. And so we'll be in communication with her, but she'll be a few time zones away from us. Well, we do wish her well, and she'll be back here in the fall.
Good luck.
We'll definitely be missing her.
Thank you for your service.
Thank
I hope
you.
you're
Thank
not
you.
going to the Red Sea. Or
No, she's not. We'd be a little bit more nervous.
All right.
She was going there.
I was
All right.
teasing her, saying that maybe if you all know, maybe get a congressional thing to get her back here.
Yeah. If you got any pull, we'd like that.
Okay.
Just saying.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
So you want to swear, Amir?
I think we have to suspend the law.
Oh,
Yeah, we cannot do right away. What do we want to do?
All right, you can suspend the rules and swear, Amir.
I like to suspend the law.
Second.
All right.
thank you for the catch, Councilman.
Of course, just to recap, Hamid got appointed for boards and commissions for zoning board of appeals. So please repeat after me. I state your name,
I, Hamir Al-Jamali,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and the Constitution of the State of Michigan,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
the Zoning Board of Appeals
Zoning Board of Appeals
of the City of Hamtramck
of the City of Hamtramck
according to the best of my abilities.
according to this law.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We thought we scared you off.
Actually, I had no idea I was getting sworn in today.
All right. So we get back on track. And we have the next resolution, 2024-18, approving award of website design and maintenance to STG.
All right.
Motion.
Mr. Mayor, I got Omar here.
I need a
to-
second.
Motion.
Second.
All right.
Mr. Mayor, I got Omar here from our staff. This is his first one he worked on as far as RFP. And then following up with Omar, I actually have our selected winner to have a brief presentation, and hopefully you guys select them.
All right, first of all, give me 1 second. Let my mom know I'm on YouTube. Hope you guys are all doing well. Assalamu alaikum. Nice to see everyone here. You know, Mayor Khalid, you made it. Congratulations.
Thank
How are
you.
you? So with that said, you know, Max mentioned, I am here to discuss, you know, hopefully a new website design and website maintenance team. They're called STG, Shoemaker Technology Group. You know, so basically, why did we decide to probably go with them? There were 12 vendors who submitted a proposal for their website design, 5 vendors who submitted their proposal for website maintenance. So we decided to go with a vendor that will do both for us, because it only makes sense. We wouldn't want to have somebody design it and then someone else maintain it. So we wanted to go with someone who can do both for us, and STG was one of them. So we actually had a scoring system of why we decided to go with them. Broke it down to 2 categories. It was technical and financial. We had 10 categories under technical. Some of those were like things like, you know, improving user experience. You know, that was important. Easy to navigate. You know, I know we have a lot of bilingual people in the city of Hamtramck, so we wanted to make sure it's easy to navigate. More pictures that they can click on rather than reading words and stuff. Translations as well. Website security, new design, and other things. We definitely need a new design for the website. So each category is worth 10 points. We tallied all of them to make it 100. That was the technical. And then for the financial, we just kept it as a price. You know, we looked up, you know, what was the average price for having website maintenance and website design, and so we kind of based the point system off of that. And long story short, after telling both scores, STG was the best company that offered a great product, but also a very respectable price. And so all the department heads in the city hall then met with STG so that they could give their suggestions on what they thought and what they wanted the website to look like, which kind of lead us to where we are today. And like Max said, we have a representative here from STG, and he'll be breaking it down a little bit more. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. I am Kyle Shoemaker, representing the Shoemaker Technology Group here, and we are pleased, like Omar said, to have submitted a bid both to redesign and to maintain your site. Actually, as some of you may know, we've actually been maintaining your site since about May of 2001, when your previous vendor, IT Right, decided that was no longer, web design was no longer a direction that they wanted to go in. They wanted to get out of that, and we took over, stepped in, and supported what you had until you were ready to possibly consider some upgrades like we're considering today. Our company has been in business since 2007, and we are proud today to serve over 300 municipalities in the state of Michigan. So you'll be in good company and good experience with us. Just a few quick facts about our company. We are Michigan-based and locally oriented. We're headquartered in Lansing, Michigan. We do offer totally custom websites specific to the exact needs and preferences of each client. So we very specifically do not have, here's our template, let's plug your information into it and call it a website and charge you for it. We want to, like was said, meet with department representatives, meet with stakeholders, figure out what's needed in the website and make exactly what you want. We are pleased to support several other clients in your area. The City of Gibraltar we redid a couple of years ago, as well as the Plymouth Housing Commission, Addison Township, Brandon Township, Groveland Township, and I don't probably need to name off all couple hundred of them. The pricing that we submitted, a one-time fee to redesign and redevelop the website, was a total bid not to exceed $4,995. A cost to help maintain the website year over year, we submitted at $2,500. And I think that hits the high points of what I have to cover, but I would love to entertain any questions that Councilor of the Public has for me.
Thank you.
No,
Any
sir.
questions?
Not really, no.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ready to vote?
Yes.
Councilman Samiri.
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Councilman Sedman.
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2024-18 approved.
Thank you. Next one is Resolution 2024-19, affirming support of the city's Department of Transportation raise grant application for Conant Street safety improvement.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, we did touch on this earlier and kind of talked about it. I think Carolyn might have a little more to add, if there's any more questions, and Carolyn, do you have anything?
Yeah, not too much, other than that this would be a planning study. It wouldn't be any construction. Again, you know, there was a question of where did this come from? I was at a council meeting a couple of months ago where Conant was being discussed extensively in terms of pedestrian safety and speeding. I knew that these type of traffic improvements were available, and I also saw this grant come up. So based on, you know, what was said about Conant, just wanted to propose this planning study. If you remember, I think Ann was there. There were a couple people involved in that discussion. It is a county road. It's also shared with Detroit. It could include crosswalks. It would include pedestrian safety improvements, but all of that would be determined during the planning stages. Another council member, I actually don't remember who, but someone talked to me about visibility for cars turning onto Conant and just having a hard time seeing when turning onto Conant from the side streets. So those are the types of things that would be looked at. If you have any questions, basically we either need to move forward with the application or not, so that's what this is really about, is would the council support the grant application for a planning study?
Mr. Mayor, what's the expected time it's gonna take?
For the planning?
Planning, yes.
It's a big project. I think it would take a year or two to do the planning because of all the different parties involved. And because they would involve the community as well, so they'd have to have community engagement. A lot of grants require community engagement. We'd have to involve DDOT because there's a bus line. There'd be the business involvement, City of Detroit. So to get all those people on the same page would take honestly a year or two.
That's good planning. I mean, as Mr. Mayor, Councilman said, the business may get affected. So, you know, when you're saying you're going to get concerned with the business, so that will cover what they're looking for or what, you know, local
But
business.
during that period, would we be updated about what's happening? Not to be surprised at the end by a plan that, you know, affect the residents like what happened in Joseph Campo?
The whole point would be council directly involved with the businesses and everybody. I mean, this would be everybody's project.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilman.
first of all, this is the county road. It's only Hamtramck City cannot do anything. Has to be Detroit involved too. If you look at Davison to Carpenter, if you drive, you're gonna see what's going on there. Exactly same thing gonna happen, Carpenter to right here. All the business, their parking is the street, okay? Safety concern, it was the light. We can talk to the county to make a more light over there and to stop, slow down the car. The 100 years, there is no issue. Right now is the big issue. Right now remodeling. This never ever gonna happen if I'm sitting here to be a DDA try to take over that. We don't want any more parking meter here to destroy the Hamtramck City business. It's been destroying and all the business telling them. So even we are talking, I think we're wasting our time about the Conant. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, nobody said anything about parking meters. There's no.
Well,
no
they
orders
after
for
that,
parking meters.
so even talking is the wasting time.
I mean, the whole point is
It's okay.
to completely
It's okay.
redesign it for the businesses.
The example is the Davison to Carpenter. If any councilman have the eyes, they can go see there what's going on.
I mean, this is not the, Mr. Mayor, this is not the final wording that we giving
We
the
will not
permission
gonna
to go and
proceed.
do the work. This is just the processing, starting the processing, right? This is what it
No,
is.
it was the application of the grant money.
Right,
not
the grant money
processing.
processing.
This would be an application to get the money to actually plan what the businesses in the community would actually want. I was always under the impression that the businesses wanted us to redo Conant for them.
No.
I mean,
Then you're gonna come back to us again, what's plan you've been making, or,
I mean, the whole point
I mean-
of this would be engage the businesses directly to see what they would want.
if the parking meter back of the head, that's need to be taken out, because we're not gonna support it for sure.
If I had my choice, I would walk down Joseph Campo with a sawzall right now, but I can't exactly
Well,
do
no,
that.
somebody is the one brought it here, those parking meter. So that's the one we have to think. Anyway,
Well,
it's my
if
opinion.
the plan would involve just remodeling, beautification, that's something acceptable. We'll take the opinion of the businessmen there and residents of Conant, what they want and what they don't want. So, I mean, I think doing the plan or approving this is not a problem. Then it's up to the residents and the businessmen there to decide what they like and what they don't.
We would have to hire a contractor to do the planning study, so they would probably hold a meeting here, they would probably hold one at the library, they could hold one at the schools, and people would have the opportunity to fill out surveys and just say what they want. Right now, we don't have any street trees on Conant, so that would be a possibility to add in, those trees with the grates that have a very kind of downtown look to them. So all those things, I didn't have in mind. Parking meters, I don't think anybody has in mind.
My thought is Conant doesn't look very pleasant right now with the sidewalks and the streetscape. It just looks kind of blah. My hope was that we would replan it, design it, the businesses would have their input and tell us what they would want. And someday we would get the money and we would redo it completely and the businesses would be ecstatic that their whole streetscape would be redone. I mean, I thought we've kind of ignored it. I thought this was a good thing.
Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, can we do the separate blind? Like when the city, they want a more light and crosswalk.
More
safe.
lighting and crosswalks.
Crosswalk, yeah.
So that would be incorporated into it. Right now I think we have really tall lights, you could get a more like fancy design of a light that looks more like a shopping district. So any kind of lighting, crosswalks, it's all part of the plan.
And there's another thing too, everyone's been asking for them in front of the mosque at Belmont. Right now, it's very difficult for us to do that because of how it's designed as far as the old infrastructure goes. If we redesigned this completely, all the sidewalks, all the approaches, everything eventually got ripped off and ripped out, we could literally put crosswalks at all the intersections everyone wanted. Every mosque intersection, every important school, everything could potentially have an intersection and a light where you wanted it. I mean, the whole point of this is to design it exactly how mayor and council, the businesses in the community want it.
So it can be, we can include crosswalk, lights, trees, proving. You are not the representative of all the businessmen, Councilman Hassan. We have to hear from them. I mean, I can say now, okay, no to bike lines, no to parking meters, no to narrowing the street. That's something we don't agree on. But you are ahead of the game. You're assuming that it will happen. We are against that. I mean, I'm not going to agree on that. But maybe improving, planting trees, crosswalks, beautifying the street, things that we can accept. Why should we ignore a whole street from any project? We will agree with stuff that will help the residents and businessmen, and then we'll be against stuff that we already had experience from Joseph Campo that residents didn't like them, businessmen didn't like them, so we already have a lesson from the past. And so I think we can agree on the plan, and then when it comes back, if something we don't like, okay, we'll be like, okay, we don't like this thing.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
We didn't see clearly the design, what they want to try to do few minutes ago. So if we see that is the plan, eventually they're going to go for it. That is the one they're planning. Is there no other way come from the sky other plan? There is that square feet or that many feet we have, and they have already designed. Somebody showing the middle section, one of the like a block thing, side by side trees. So it's going to be the narrow, and no question about it. That's why I brought the example. I already spoke to the businessmen. They've been trying this one 3 times since I've been council. Okay? So that's why I was telling what. It was the plan, directly show you guys what is their plan, what is going to be the project.
Well, it will come back to us and we'll vote. It's not done yet.
So our hope is to also do the same exact thing with Joseph Campo from Pinef to Carpenter. The same exact thing. A complete grant to redesign the whole thing, take it to the county, and eventually get grant funding to rip out the whole thing and redesign the whole thing. I mean, these old intersection streets, and I mean, they, all got to be completely redone at some point. So, but I mean, obviously, nothing will get done without the will of the mayor and the council. This isn't our design, this is your design. We just are trying to get the money so we can design it at your behest. I mean, nothing's gonna go there without your approval. End of story.
Councilman Rafai?
Mr. Mayor, just to clarify, this is not, we're approving work for it to get done. Again, this is for them to give them permission to, apply for this grant so they can come with ideas and plan how Conan should be with, and then come back to council and mayor, and then we could sit down and see what's the best for that side of the street. So we're not sitting here right now are voting to pass this resolution so they can start working. So I'm not getting what's the issue of approving this today so you can apply for the grant, come with ideas, and then come back to council and mayor and see what, our thoughts on this.
Can we vote?
If we done, yeah.
Anybody else wanna speak?
I guess everybody said what they want. Yeah, go ahead and vote.
Councilman Hassan?
No?
Councilman Al-Samiri?
Yes.
Councilman Rafai?
Yes.
Councilman Sedman?
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud?
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, resolution 2024-19 approved.
All right, thank you. Next one is Resolution 2024-20, approval of Memorandum of Understanding and Agreement between City of Hamtramck and Command Officers Association of Michigan.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, in light of the blessing from council to promote a deputy chief, I took the opportunity to enter into some brief negotiations with the Command Officer Association and try and score some rights for the new chief coming in to be able to make some modifications to how he's able to command the department, specifically dealing with the assignments of the detective lieutenant and sergeant internally and a couple other minor changes in addition. And I propose before you an addendum to their contract. By approving this, the deputy chief will be a union position, but the union has agreed to give up the right that the chief can now appoint the lieutenant and the sergeant at the chief's request based upon qualifications. Historically, for a very, very long time, it's been based upon seniority, which, in my opinion, was not the correct way to handle that, and now we have righted what I believe has been a historical wrong. The incoming chief is fully aware and briefed of this and is in concurrence with this move, and I believe it is a good move for the police department. The police department Command Association is obviously on board with this as well. They've agreed, and I ask that you approve this.
All right.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Councilman?
So this resolution kinds of the new types of resolution on previous practice. So did you spoke to new hired police chief?
I did.
What is his opinion?
He supports it.
Okay, then we will support it.
So, Mr. Mayor, can I ask you a question? So deputy police chief is a managerial position, it's a supervisory position, right?
It is, that is correct.
But I never heard, I've been doing the union job for many years, that any supervising position became unionized. I mean, that's could have been a part of the problem. Now I know we have a good police officer, we can honor him something good, but down the road, when you're not here, 10 years later, if you want to change it, it's going to be very difficult to change. So instead of giving him the unionize, we can extend the benefit that he will get through the union. Maybe we can offer him this benefit and not to unionize. My position is.
The position is still picked by the chief. That is still as a right of the chief. And it can also be negotiated change later. However, I find that positions can come and go a little bit easier as opposed to like a detective lieutenant and sergeant's position was a lot harder to get that language changed than necessarily maybe, say, for instance, the deputy chief's position gets vacated later. The union may say, we'll give that up for a bump in pay. In my opinion, it would probably be easier to delete that spot and then reassign it later as opposed to get the language I negotiated. At least in my experience, it has been. So I'm not that concerned about that. I think it was a bigger win.
I mean, one way is a good win, but I mean, I'm talking about the future.
Well, there's always a little bit of give and take. You know, I mean, the union obviously seen a benefit to give up that. You know, so I'm not going to say there isn't. They got something out of this. But from at least the city's perspective, I do believe that tactically later on, we could always, you know, reverse tracks if needed.
Well, after signing the contract, I don't know you'll be able to subtract.
I think we can. The city, I mean, we can negotiate. I think, like, again, I think at a negotiation table, giving up one position for other things that the union wants is a lot easier than negotiating language that a whole union likes for, like, it's hard to put into words. I just having dealt with this union for a very long time in this particular issue, I just see it as a higher ask.
Okay, so, Mr. Chair, I do see some salary as the UAW, not you direct UAW, but they have their own union, salary has it. So like a manager said, is the good idea to give him, he not gonna lose his all other benefits. If UAW, union agree with that, we don't have any issue. Like Mr. Councilman has a question, how about the next future? So future contract, again, depends on city, how we contact with the employee, given the promotion. Hey, previous time we had this time we think we're not gonna do it. So it is up to us, it is up to city manager, police chief, how you gonna handle it. I think this is the one, is good thing to any young officer wanna come to that position, so he not gonna lose his some other benefit, and this is good to take the challenge and step ahead. I'm okay with that.
Go ahead.
Councilman Mahmoud,
Yes.
Councilman Musa, I'm sorry, Councilman Salman.
Yes.
I'm glad you don't say Naeem. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Councilman Salman,
Yes.
Councilman Rafai,
Yes.
Councilman Al-Samiri,
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2024-20 approved.
Thank you. The next one is Resolution 2024-21, approving schedule adjustment of regular city council meetings.
Motion.
Second.
Mr. Mayor, this is just canceling the, Rhonda, help me, this was
Okay, this is the one where you guys are going to be on the.
Yeah.
Mission.
Is it which one are we canceling?
No, and then, so you guys
24th or
will be on
something.
your conference the 12th and the 13th, so that's Tuesday and Wednesday. But since I'm helping Max.
Canceling one, moving it back.
It's canceling one
What are the
from,
dates?
instead of March 12th, it'll be March 5th.
Thank you, that's what I was
You
asking.
can always amend that date if you want to, just because that's the week right after election, and we thought about it, and I'm like, oh, that means I'd be working on the agenda while running the election. So if you guys wanna amend the date to a different date, I think we're okay with it, right? But if
Okay,
you
so
don't,
right now we're asking, it's proposed before you to cancel the March 12th and move it back to the 5th, which is the week before. The election is literally that week, which would be very difficult for Rana amongst other things going on that week as well. I don't know if what's going on the week
we could do
after
it,
that.
if, I know you guys suggested, I heard through the grapevine, you guys had suggested the Monday prior to you guys leaving. I don't know if you guys were heading out that Monday night, or if you guys were heading out Tuesday, it's up to you. And to be honest with you, it doesn't even have to be a Tuesday, we're sticking to Tuesday, it could be really any day of the week. So if you guys wanna open up your calendars, figure out a date, and to be honest with you, if you wanna keep it the 5th, it's doable, it's not a it's doable, okay, we could keep.
Then do the March 5th.
This would just be a light
Or
agenda
we can
too.
even do, instead of the 5th, it could be later on in the week, it doesn't even have to be that Tuesday, it could be the 6th, the 7th, the 8th, it could be Thursday if you wanted to,
We
you know?
could just keep it a very light agenda as well.
I'm okay with March 5th. I think
If
this,
the fifth works for council and mayor.
I don't know, everybody
I
else.
think there is another date also over there.
And then the next one is
Yep.
Ramadan being
Yes.
changed from 7 o'clock to 6 o'clock. With us adjusting the date from the
We-
12th, that
we
would have been
get
the
a
first day of
meeting in-
Ramadan. Usually we have 2 meetings
Right, that's
during
why the 5th
Ramadan.
is much better.
Yeah, so we usually have 2 days during Ramadan that we adjust from 7 to 6 o'clock. So this way it's only the one day, which would be this,
You wanna just leave it on the fifth, and then we'll make
Yep.
a light agenda, and then leave the second one, we'll just from 7 to 6 and call it a day?
Yep.
Leave it
Yep.
as is?
Yep.
That's all, as
Okay.
it is.
Alright, we'll just make it a light agenda.
All right.
Okay,
vote.
Yes.
Councilman El Samiri.
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Councilman Sedman.
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2024-21 approved.
Thank you. Last one is Resolution 2024-22, move the money resolution.
Motion.
Second.
All right, so this is the one that a lot of public comments were about earlier. And I agree that this is an opportunity for us to be the first to pass this resolution. And if we think about the content of this resolution, we passed a proclamation last year to ask our government to stop funding the oppressive regimes around the world without naming any, but it's basically to stop funding wars around the world and use the funds here for the infrastructure for cities that are struggling, such as our city. So, I mean, this is, I think, in my opinion, it's a good thing. And we hope that our government in Washington will listen to us and to the people of the United States, because they just passed a resolution or, to use $95 billion to fund wars in different parts of the world, and we need that money here. Local communities are suffering and struggling, and we spend so much money funding wars and supporting oppressive regimes around the world. While we are supposed to support democracy, in fact, we are protecting dictatorships and kingdoms around the world and oppressing regimes. And I think we should stop that. Democracy is our, main value here, freedom, and we should promote that and support the people around the world who are struggling for freedom and democracy, not support the regimes that suppress and oppress those people. So that's my opinion about this, and we can listen from the rest of the council.
Any other comments?
No, we're gonna vote.
Mr. Mayor, yes, I mean, as Council, Congress candidate Ms. Mary said, that when people get elected, they forget about the grassroots organizer and grassroots workers. I mean, throughout the country, everybody is screaming about all those young kids been getting killed in, all those genocide and everything, but it looked like nobody cared. And I hope this will bring it to their attention that you don't give up, we're still out there, and we're gonna hear something good from them.
Thank you. And just to let you know, we had a meeting with our congressman who represent our district, asking him about stuff, questioning him about things that we don't agree on, such as not asking for a ceasefire, signing a letter that condemns South Africa for, asking for justice and bringing Israel to question it just to support justice and peace. And also, he was definitely against it, and he said, "I can't change my mind in one day." And until now, we haven't heard from him. And it seems like he only had one view. He said he watched a video in the Congress, and he stick with what he watched. We give him examples about how Iraq was invaded after a presentation in the United Nations by Colin Powell. And it turned out to be a lie completely, no weapon of mass destruction. We give him another example of other wars, how they were started and he just believed what he watched, and he doesn't believe this second opinion, and that was unfortunate. And so hopefully we would have a representative who will listen to our concerns and and listen to the opinion of the people who voted for him or her. So that's another piece of information that I wanted to share with you. Okay.
Can I pick Sadman? Councilman Sadman.
Yes.
Councilman Mahmoud.
Yes.
Councilman Al Samiri.
Yes.
Councilman Hassan.
Yes.
Councilman Rafai.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, Resolution 2024.
All right, thank you so much. And well, we move now to the reports, and I'll start with my report. We don't have much to say, but I just want to thank the public who came today to express their opinion about certain issues. And I want to thank Bill Meyer for helping us presenting this resolution and putting some efforts to draft that resolution as well. And we became now the first city in the United States to pass such a resolution. We had last week the Punchy Run, and I was there, one of the participants, along with some city council member, Councilman Khalil Rafai, Councilman Sumeri. Actually, he ran. In fact, he walked. He didn't run.
He's run.
Did you run?
He's run.
He did.
They all say he walked.
He's run.
He ran. Yeah.
Then he
He's
escaped from
run.
the
He's the first one, and he's coming back. He's the middle.
Okay, so that was good. At least he ran. I didn't. I just spoke to the crowd. We had a great turnout of over 1,500 runners, and we are very proud to keep having the Punchki Run in Hamtramck, and it's part of our city heritage, if you could say, or we should. Today is the Fat Tuesday, Punchki. I mean, I'm against eating fatty food. We promote healthy lifestyle, but running was something to fight the sedentary lifestyle. And I told the crowd, if you like Polish food, we have some, Yemeni food, Bengali, Bosnian. But if you like McDonald's, we don't have any. And in fact, the McDonald's building was across, so I told them we closed it down. Yes, that was the major event of last week and this week, and we thank all the participants who came and continue to come and support our local businesses in Hamtramck and to shop around, and we hope to continue organizing and supporting this event in the future. That's it for me. I guess there are other events, but I can't remember them because there is too many of them and I can't just recall them.
Mr. Mayor, was there a commitment that you were gonna run next year?
Yes, actually, I said it's running, and I said in my speech, you can walk too because our city manager will be walking.
Next year, you were
By next year, hopefully, yes, I will prepare to run. I'm planning to get back in track and start exercising and play soccer. That's my favorite sport, So.
I mean, Councilman Rafai said he was gonna too.
Well,
Hopefully.
if I didn't travel to Tennessee, I could run. But I guess don't know. I head to Tennessee and I'm sore, so.
All right, that's all for my report, and we can move to the Mayor Pro Tem is not here. He's still in Bangladesh having fun, and so we have city council members.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Councilman Hassan, go ahead.
I want to clarify my vote today. First one, why I did no vote. The loan, I'm not gonna accept it right now. So from my experience, this budget will be negative. And if our finance don't pay something and try to match the budget, and maybe. I want finance to pay all the behind, all the bills, all the retirements bill, March payment, then proceed on the budget. So this is my experience. In 2009, I did a prediction, it's already there. So it's not the real good, it's not coming. Second, that's why I don't want a loan. I don't want to increase the tax money, or I want to pay the loan from my general fund, then general fund will be dry. No matter what you take the loan, you have to pay it. Second, most of the grant money has the matching. No matter what you got, you have to match some city general fund money. I understand the grant money application is not affecting us. The grant money application to do the study, I understand. End of the day, all of the study, what happened, it came to the point, end of the day, some of the council, some of the elected official understand or don't understand, like our zoning board. One say yes, everybody saying that yes. That kinds of situation, we don't want it. Okay, so third, mayor threat. 2009, first I get elected, even though I am start campaigning, they're threatening me, they're gonna kill me. So, threat come, we are strongly, me personally, with the mayor. Any threat, call me, I'll be the first one. So, some of the threat we have to ignore. Some of the threat try to make you more crazy. Sometimes I ignore it. But nobody can threat and nobody can damage our challenge. Nobody can do nothing to us. Very clear. Don't even try it. Another one, Mary Waters, Detroit City Councilwoman at large. The congressman who we have right now is not listening to us. So our community fed up with him. And I was very close friend with Adam, 2012. We've been running together state rep. We are neck to neck competition. And Rosemary got it for only a couple of hundred votes. But we will support you. But you have to promise us, you see our water system, we need help. We need around 50 million from Washington. No way without that money we can survive here. So I want you to get elected and help us and lobby Washington, see anything you can bring for us. And I will endorse you as a councilman and I will support you. Matter of fact, I'm running election this year again. So your campaign will be easy. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Any more reports?
Mr. Mayor, I just want to kind of quick, nothing much, quick 30-second request to our CFO and city manager. When you guys preparing budget, balancing budget is important. On the other hand, to balancing the budget, make sure our community does not get pressurized to collect the money. Don't send your enforcement too many hours outside. We have to collect money, get the more ticketing, and make sure they don't get those kinds of situations. I mean, balancing budget is important. We need money, but sometimes I see people complaining out there that too many enforcement going on, coding enforcement, this and that, and like empty lot issue that we've been hearing from other people. I know I request our attorney to make an amendment to this last week. I think he forgot. Maybe hopefully it will come in next meeting. So I just want to let people know, don't forget about you. We're working on it. We hear your concern and we'll work on it. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Regarding the budget, that's why I wanted to see the audit report and see the differences between last year and this year. I mean, everything is going in the positive. Tax increase, everything. I mean, yes, there are a lot of spendings, but we have a lot of grants too to cover all these projects. So we passed a lot of resolution last year, and there a promise that this will save us 300,000, this will save us 200,000. So I expect that to result in a positive outcomes. I would be so surprised if if the outcomes are not as expected. So I mean, yes, we spent a lot of money buying stuff last year, and hope that we will save so much money this year and next year. So if any negative outcomes comes out, I don't think we'll approve anything, buying extra stuff next year or this year. So hopefully we will have something good when you prepare the budget. I mean, the consulting Plant Moran, they told us you're good from now to 2028. So I expect that study to continue. I mean, I would be surprised if their prediction is false at this point. So that's my opinion about this. And just to add to what Councilman Hassan said about our congressman, he actually told me we suffer from terrorism in India. Why are you relating that to what's happening here in Palestine? These are two different issues, and you should not relate any, what's happening in your motherland to what's happening in different parts of the world. There's an occupation somewhere. There's genocide, and you should take an ethical stance on this issue. Do not use emotional judgment. That was surprising to us too. So thank you, and it was our pleasure to have you today in our meeting, and I want to thank everybody who came today and spoke. And I guess we are done for the night.
Mr. Chair.
Councilman Rafai, go ahead.
I want to thank everybody who showed up here tonight, and also Councilwoman Ms. Waters for coming here and try to present yourself and try to address your points here. Also, I want to thank Mr. Bell for bringing this resolution, and I was proud to vote for this, and I'm happy that's on here and it was passed with the entire council members. To let you guys know that I brought up a resolution to name one of our streets in the city of Hamtramck to be Palestine Avenue. The signs are coming here soon, and hopefully we will pass a message to invite those who wants to attend the whole show. Thank you very much. Have a good night. And also want to thank Hamir for taking this opportunity to volunteer for the city of Hamtramck and being part of the Board of Commissions. That means a lot to actually volunteer your time. Thank you again. You guys have a good night. Be safe.
Thank you. We back to the public comment. We are not done. Yes. Second round of public comment.
Ready?
Yes.
Did you want to talk? Clara Lawrence? No. No? Toby, you still want to talk? Tobin? Or not really?
I'll pass.
You still don't want to talk, Bill? Or later? That's it. You're the next one.
Wow, you guys are very progressive and visionary, council and mayor. This is quite a thing you did today by passing this resolution. You're very far-reaching, ahead of all the other cities of the country. We appreciate your work. The people who spoke earlier were members of the Michigan Peace Council, and we'd like to invite everyone to join the Michigan Peace Council because we fight against war and for peace and justice in the world, and that's what this resolution is about. But there's only half of the resolution. The other half is planning public hearings to talk about how we can shift money and how it would benefit local citizens if we change the money from military spending. So I'd like to say that you already introduced Mary Waters, right?
Yes.
Councilor, yeah, because she is going to introduce this resolution in the Detroit City Council. And did you meet Sam Riddle, the famous, where did he go?
Right here.
Oh, right there. That's the notorious activist in Detroit. He's good. Sam Riddle. There's a lot of good people in Detroit. I think they're going to pass this resolution there too, because they already passed the ceasefire resolution before. About the Conant design thing, I agree with this. I know what he's worried about, and I share what he's concerned about, because they screwed up where Joseph Calvo had with bump outs. They did that a long time ago and took away half the parking spaces and put in these lights there that look like industrial factory or something like that on the street. It's really wrong lighting, wrong design. 30 seconds.
2 minutes for the second part.
Oh, can I get an extra minute?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so, let me see. Oh, yeah.
We're talking about Conant.
Yes, Conant. This curbs there are very high. Every time I open my passenger door, I crash into the curb. You know, the street's really bad there. They got a lot to fix. But I agree with you. We should get the money, make a report, and work on it, make sure the citizens and the businesses on that street are part of it. Not like they were in Joseph Campo, because all of a sudden they found bump outs, taking out the parking space in front of the place. And then the parking meters, which I wiped out the other half, and then they put the bike lanes in there and took off the rest of the lanes. So, I mean, 3 ways to kill business. They did it. Don't let them do it to Conant, because we've got a thriving street business over there on Conant. It's a unique community, Bangladesh community, the only one in Michigan. So let's support it and build it up. Thank you.
Thank you. One more, sorry.
Okay.
John Harrison.
I just wanted to thank you guys for passing the Move the Money resolution, and I'm reminded again how proud I am to be a Hamtramck resident. Marching in the streets with you guys when we called for the ceasefire, the mayor spoke, I know council members spoke. It's just, there's not a lot of places in the United States that'll take a principled stand and fight for peace. And I also want to say too, unlike Mr. Tanadar, Ms. Waters has called for a ceasefire and backs us on this issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much. That's all for public comments, Mayor.
Thank you. We move to adjournment.
Motion?
I'll second.
It's 9:14.
I'm writing an article. My name is Danny Hopkins. I'm writing an article about the money resolution that passed. How you chat?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we can. You wanna do it here or in the hallway?
Councilman, how are you? I did meet you once at the city council in Detroit. Yes, ma'am. This is my card. And also a chaplain for Wayne County Sheriff. Yes, and that's how I met you a while back. So